Hey, we're live. Let's get this thing going. Today we're doing the how many goats past normal are you? Apparently I'm 2 goats past normal. Trying to get this to come up on the old YouTube channel, and for reasons unbeknownst to me, it's not showing up, which is pretty standard for YouTube. All right, well, let's make some coffee instead while we wait. I'm currently 100% asleep. It's a temporary condition. Get some lights going. There we go. The ritual of grinding coffee. Oh, wow. So the cold weather is upon us, which is always fun. I spent all day yesterday preparing for the cold weather. I'm gonna have to spend the rest of today preparing for the cold weather. Start picking stuff up out of the yard that has to be not there for the got the fireplace chimney cleaned yesterday, which is always a pain in my ass, but it has to be done. So that's ready to go. Realized that my firewood rack is basically empty, so I was like, holy shit, what am I gonna do about that? So I drove around the property, found every appropriate sized log that was downed, and chopped that up. So I ran a chainsaw for most of the day yesterday. That was fun. It's just water in that coffee machine. Little side view there. Fortunately, we'd been dry as it's ever been around here forever, which has been a great time to pick firewood off the ground. And then it rained, so like all the wood wet. It had been bone dry, and then it rained on it, so that sucks. Let's see if I can get this stupid thing to detect. It's not giving me today's stream for reasons. There it is. There we go. Sorry, I'm finger tapping on the old brought to you by some Hardee's. Today's stream is brought to you by Hardee's. Get yourself some oh, don't do that. Thank you, Hardee's, for throwing a few pennies at me. I'm mirror this thing up to the kitchen TV real quick. All right, there we go. Yeah, so here we were. It's been a week. Just last week. Is everybody okay? I've been seeing there's some people having some problems. Just checking in, okay? Well, there's some people that are worried about their rights. They're losing their rights. I woke up and still had the same rights I had the day before. Very concerning times, though. That's so funny. I think there is a serious mental health issue going on in the United States right now. What did I just read the other day? It was just like, what are you talking about? The famous actress / comedian who just, and I saw this quote today, just a working person. Her stage name is Whoopi Goldberg. That's not her real name. She is losing her mind so bad. She came out and accused a bakery. And I don't know what it is about bakeries. I feel bad if you own a bakery, man. They're coming for you. Accused a bakery of not baking her a cake because of Well, I don't think she come out and say it, but it was either because she's a woman, she's black, she's a Democrat. It was whatever little boxes you'd check in her little category. That's why they wouldn't bake her cake. And turns out they didn't have they had an equipment failure. They couldn't bake anyone's cake. It's like, and she went all off like a lunatic, and it's like, come on, dude. Like, get a grip. Get a grip. Whatever. Just more crazy shit you hear, and you just roll your eyes and think, oh, God, dude. Mental health is a real thing, I can assure you. There's a lot of people that are being, I think, improperly treated for their problems. I had a relative that was a pioneer. This is going to sound terrible for some people. So I tell this story, people get real mad sometimes. Oh, this is terrible! He was a pioneer in electroshock therapy. They used to shock your brain when you had brain problems. I don't know if you know this about your brain. It's an electrical system up there. And I'm pretty sure he worked at a women's ward or institute for people who had they graphed it out. I read the paper. It was pretty interesting. He was in Time magazine for it. But what happened was the fine folks that make solutions in pill form, they got involved and decided that we were gonna start solving problems with pills, and that's how we solve our problems now. Let's use pills. I mean, whatever. This is me crying about my problems. But yeah, there's a pill for every solution. Don't forget that. Take your pills. Can't go too deep into that topic, or they'll delete me. Don't want to be deleted. We're just gonna keep these up. Just gonna eat some easy peasy, forkable potato cubes. I need to get coffee in me. I think my coffee's done brewing. Get a little caffee. Let's get these lined up so I can do a super duper chance here in a second. We are going coffee mode though. All right, here we go. Over to the coffee machine. I didn't get a spoon out yet, which is a tragedy. Okay, here we go. Hold please. I gotta walk away. Sorry. I do have an onion. I could do a little onion for breakfast. Yeah. Is that a good idea or a bad idea? Put onion in my salad last night. Because that sounded good. All right, here we go. Half and half. Someone asked me how much half and half I use. I have no idea. I use that much. Twice. Every day. Now, sometimes you put too much coffee in your cup and you can't get as much half and half in. So sometimes you don't put as much coffee in your cup and you can put extra half and half in. Oh yeah, I need it that bad. Let's go. Allegedly, the longer you wait to drink your coffee, the more effective it is. Really know how does coffee become effective? I don't really understand that, but a scientist did a science thing, And when sciencing up on it, everyone agreed. Yeah, science. I like science. Science is it just depends on who's paying for the science. I think people maybe lose that sometimes. And they get mad when you say that too. What are you talking about? It's science. It's above reproach. Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha. Sure thing, buddy. Enjoy your gospel. Turn it into a goddamn religion. You can't question it. You don't even realize. Peer reviewed. Yeah, I gotcha. I know everybody's real history and they like read about history and all that. But it's like, man, we used to live in times when it was like we had like clergy and hierarchy was like pope, clergy, priest, all that was like the most important shit on the planet. And whatever they said was the way it was going to be. And like, do people remember that shit? You think the people that have that kind of power just gave up? Like, yeah, we're good. They don't want to participate in that anymore. It's like, dude, they're just doing something different now. They're just doing something different. Whatever. Trust the science. I trust the science. I do. I also rely on my my mediocre education I was given how to read. Critical skills of thinking that I was developed as a human being on planet Earth. I just think that, I don't know, I think humans are just pre-wired to be susceptible to certain things. I don't know why that is. It's just the way that people are. I mean, it's not just humans. Like most animals are pre-wired to do things that they do. You know, cat's gonna hunt. Deer's gonna graze. You know, just the way they are. People have figured out how to take advantage of that. So like, if you want to take advantage of a deer that likes to graze, you can take advantage of that by raising material out in a pile, and then the deer will just show up, and then you can get them easy. You can hunt them easy. Or like, I know for like with like big cats, very susceptible to smells. That's how they communicate. So if you want to track a cat or whatever, there's certain smells you can use. Apparently there's a perfume that like big cats just can't get enough of. So if you want to put, for example, I don't want to say everyone's out shooting cats, but like if you want to like put a trail cam, catch a cat, you on the camera, you put a scent on it and it'll come smell the scent. That's a real thing. But that's just people have figured that out, take advantage of that. So like, I got news for you. People figure out stuff about humans and they just take advantage of it. That's just how it goes. Let's put some oil on this. But somehow, like, people forget that that's a thing. So they don't realize when they're like, sucking down the good stuff. Like, we seem to be like real team-oriented. Which I'm sure, it's like clan-oriented, group-oriented survival, You group with your group, and you hope your group can outgroup the other group, right? That's why people get so nuts about sports. Like, that's why sports is so important. I think it's two reasons for sports. I think it's because of the innate human propensity for grouping up into groups, and then I think it's also the innate human propensity to like. We seem to be quite violent. So someone figured out if you make a violent sport and let people pick teams, that can alleviate some of the potential group things that could, happen. Anywho's, that's fun. That's good. Oh man! All right. Well, that's gonna take forever. What am I gonna do for the rest of this damn stream? Usually I cook bacon for about an hour, but I'm not having bacon this week. I'm having eggs and I'm gonna use a small pan because my big pan is still dirty. It's still in the dirty dish pile. So, I mean, big small pan. I guess I'll cook over here. That's kind of weird. What could I do? I could do like a breakfast burrito. I think I got some tortillas. Let's do that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll cook some eggs and onions up and throw them in with the potatoes and make a big old breakfast burrito. I have 2 tortillas left, so I can have 2 breakfast. And I've got how many eggs here? I got 3 eggs. We'll do a 3 breakfast burritos. That'll be fun. Won't that be fun? Sounds fun. Let's get these pans warmed up. The old warm. Might have to do 4 egg. I'm gonna, yeah, grab me an extra egg in there. Luckily, I got a backup package of eggs here. It just dawned on me. There's just I can do a 3 egg double burrito. I mean, 4 eggs ain't gonna be enough, but that's the most I can eat. Got some mozzarella in a bag. We'll use that. So my title's gonna be a lie. Nothing but lies on this channel. Maybe we got a little salsa, like a salsa. A little salsa on that breakfast burrito? That's good. That's when a plan comes together. Salsa. Nice. And throw a dice a little egg up. Dice a little onion. Put it into the egg, I guess. That may be gross, but still gonna do it. Night should still be consumable. I'm trying to think, do I want to get fancy with this? With like little tiny, like, what am I gonna do here? Cut a little handle in this thing real quick so I can hold on to it. Just like a little double. All right. Still got my fingers attached. Things are looking up. Peel this outer layer off because it's kind of like that. You don't want to eat that shit, right? You don't want to eat that shit. All right. Let's talk about some fun things we've been watching. I can't quite figure out. Seems like there's people who think filming themselves acting like an asshole, which probably I'm guilty of that sometimes, is a good idea. I mean, you want your 15 minutes of fame, but sometimes you get the wrong 15 kind of minutes. So people like screaming and doing stupid shit. Anybody see the video of the lady who's just like, I'm just going to shave my head because that's going to, I don't even understand. That's going to teach somebody something. I mean, actually it is. I mean, oddly enough, it's teaching a lesson, but it's not the lesson. I don't think the lady thinks she's teaching. Anyways, let's pour this. I feel bad saying lady, but I'm pretty sure she was a lady. This poor lady, you know, what do they say in the South? God bless her. She was proving some sort of self-imposed point about something that she was mad about. I assume the TV told her, you know, or the screen. I guess we're not saying TV anymore because no one watches TV. You know, I can't quite make it clear enough to people. Like, if the magic screen says something to you that you should, then you do it. Like, you got to realize that unless you just happen to come up with that exact same idea, you've just been, programmed. They programmed you. So they're programming people for reasons I don't quite understand to shave their heads, potentially, in some sort of a protest. But what's really weird is, like, so, like, the past is the past, and historical events are historical. So in past history, this is true, and you're more than welcome to read a book yourself and learn about this shit. In the past, basically, the shaving of a woman's was typically done during wars or occupations when the locals, the people who were being either warred upon or occupied, when a female would be caught spending time with the enemy, potentially in a romantic situation, basically fucking the bad guys. And if the locals caught that, they would shave this so everybody know that this dirty whore was fucking the enemy or the oppressors or whatever. That's a real thing. I'm not making that shit up. That's real. And now it's like, do these people not know about this? Like, it's like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand. And I get it, it's edgy or whatever, but it's just like, and I'm not saying just because your head means you're having sex with a bad guy. I'm not saying that, or a perceived bad guy. It's just like, it's just weird to me. It just seems so weird. I mean, whatever. It's just, anyways, this poor lady couldn't work the clippers is the point of my story. She's like protest shaving her head, and of course, and she didn't go for the real shaved head where you start in the middle and you're committed. She was shaving the side. You can shave the sides over your ears and not look like a complete fucking shaved head person. You give up. And she's having a moment, and she's like, during the meltdown, it's dawning on her that she's not doing a very good job of shaving her head. And then she's melting down because she can't figure out how to work clippers. And it's just like, yowzer. Like, maybe focus your efforts on a little self-improvement or a little something else. It's just like, I don't know. I'm not sure what the answer for all that is. I just feel like maybe some people their efforts should be directed in orientation that's more conducive with the talents they have. I guess, I don't know. I'm like worried about what the screen tells them is maybe not be one of those talents. Whatever. Just some casual observations. All right, definitely don't want to crack my eggs. I'm so paranoid about eggs now. Like, I'm so paranoid about eggs. I watched a video of a dude cooking, like, what was he cooking the other day? Cooking for, like, a sorority house, and he was cooking, like, for a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people. Like, big bowls of stuff. He had all these ingredients in the bowl, and it was like, damn, we got a lot of ingredients in that bowl. And, like, the last thing is he added eggs. He just started cracking eggs and throwing them in. I'm thinking, oh, my God, dude. Like, just making my skin crawl after my yellow egg adventure. Whatever. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. What am I doing? I gotta scramble these eggs up. I'm doing scrambled eggs. Normally I scramble them in the pan, but I realized I already put heat to the pan. Alright, let's figure this out. Let's scramble some eggs. Alright. Welcome to the tutorial to crack eggs, kids. Since I got an egg the other day for the first time in 40 goddamn years. Eggs, don't crack them on the edge of the bowl, kids. That's the wrong way. You crack them on the edge of the bowl. This is a how-to part of this. People who can't figure out how to shave their heads right, they can learn from this. You don't crack an egg on the edge of it because when you hit it on the edge, the dynamic force between the egg and the edge creates an egress in. A cracked eggshell into the egg and tends to promote eggshell fragmentation into your liquid egg part. Flat on a counter. See? Then crack it open. And then, yeah, you get an egg. See? Do as I do, not as I say. Oh, ridiculous. Stupidest in the history of mankind. I mean, that's supposed to work. I don't know. Someone smarter than me informed me that. I may have over-aggressively smashed that fucking egg the first one. What's really weird is, like, I honestly remember as a young person some of the first cooking classes I took. And yes, I've taken cookies. I know some people don't believe that about me, but I've taken cooking classes in I've taken North American cooking classes, and I took a cooking class in Europe too. I'm a European trained cook. I took a cooking class in Europe. Now I will say the cooking class in Europe was the worst shit ever, and it was so remedial. I didn't learn shit, but I still did it. One of the first ones I remember him saying, "Don't crack your eggs, you get a bad one." And at the time, it was kind of like, well, this isn't the 1800s, dude. We're not getting bags anymore. But like something I've learned, what's happening. I don't know who to. I'm not gonna. I mean, blame whoever you want for this phenomenon, but it's the thing I've been observing. I'm gonna put a little water in these eggs too. Thing I've been observing is apparently like virgins are getting so tight on everything that they're not doing what they used to do. It used to be like manufacture something or you sold something. If you had a bad version of it, you pulled that out and you either like whatever, it got recycled or it got scrapped or it just got discounted and sold as a defective number 2s. Well, they don't do that anymore. So like what they're doing now is they're selling that shit. So like I saw this the other day with like a bundle of siding. These are bundles of siding that are banded, 9 bundle, whatever, a unit so many. And I was opening up a bundle of siding, and inside of the bundle of siding was damaged siding. Like, not like, oh, it's a little bit damaged, like absolutely fucking broken siding. Where a human being was like, we got a piece of broken siding, and the answer was take that and slide it into the middle of the bundle, and then band it, and then ship it out. And it's like, really? That's what we're doing now? I found more than one of them too. That was the crazy part. And, there was some from forklift operation from the bottom of the unit. So like, I had like I don't know 6 pieces of just fuck siding. So I was like, I'm just taking this shit back, dude. I'm gonna get fucking bent, dude. I found more just in the top of the pile. It's like, oh yeah, that's where we're at. Oh hey boss, we got some damaged product. Oh, go ahead and ship that out. So like, hey boss, I found an egg on the floor. I don't know how long it's been here for. I'll just put that in the carton. Yeah, I'm not even making this shit up. That's what they're doing. Like, it's really weird. Like, did we peak in the 90s? Did human civilization peak in the 90s? I think we might have. And if you're young, you don't remember the 90s, man, you missed out because, like, the 90s, like, in the 80s a little bit. It was like they made good stuff. like appliances from the 90s. If you still got those, you're gonna want those. They still work. New shit. It's all garbage. It all breaks, falls apart. Everything's garbage. It's like they figured out that they could just make everything just so shitty and so garbagey, they could sell more of them. It's like, man, I know I've talked about this in the past. Anything that you experience as far as like quality control and like product quality and duration of product, that's all an engineered outcome. Everything. And I'm not even exaggerating. From like, why did my finger rip through my toilet paper and I have shit on my finger to my vacuum cleaner broken. It's all they designed that way. I mean, the harsh version, it's actually called an obsolescence, designed to be obsolete after so much time. And they come up with like, they basically design the life of a product. It's nothing to do with, well, that's just as long as it can last. Well, no, that's as long as it's gonna last. And I'll tell you why I know this. And it's not secret information. And I've talked about this in the past. After World War II, when the Allied forces were victorious, one of the countries they were fighting was a country called Germany. Well, it wasn't doing very good at the time after the war. They were completely decimated. They got bombed to shit. They owed a bunch of money, and they had lost a lot of their population. It was just they'd lost the war. But there were still a country called Germany. There were still Germans. They still had an economy. They still had people that ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner if they could. That was still happening. So they got put in charge of running Germany after the war. They had to make some decisions. They didn't have very many resources. They owed a lot of money. The shit was bad. So they're like, well, here's the deal. We're going to pass a law. If you're going to make a thing in Germany, it's going to have to last because we don't have the money that people have to buy another one real quick. And I think at the time they made it 50 years. Like, if you design it, it's got to last 50 years. And they put the law in, this is me, like, remembering a little bit here. Basically, they said if it doesn't last 50 years and you run the company, you can be responsible. So when you engineer your shit, make it last. That's why this myth, it's not a myth, this perception of German quality. They actually passed a law that says this shit's gotta last. That's all they did. Germans are amazing in quality. They just made a law that says you have to build quality shit. And then they're like, okay, well, I guess we have to do this or we'll go to jail. So they just made quality shit. Like, and that's a story, like, I'm making shit up. That's a real thing that actually happened. So, like, all one has to do is live in a country where the people are in charge, and the people in charge say, hey, you can't make shit. You got to make good stuff. And then everything would be good and would last a long time. Did you know that? Like, how weird is that? None of that's made up. That's all the truth. Throw these onions in the potatoes here for the last little bit. What do you think? It's not very many. We'll caramelize those up a little bit. But it's like, it's kind of wild to think about that, like, for, like, I mean, actually, essentially, for money-making reasons, whatever. I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm torn on the whole thing because I like affordably priced stuff too. But it just sucks when you buy something that you like think is nice and expensive and it breaks. It's just like, are you serious? Like, I mean, the real cabal came out with a light bulb. That was like the real beginning of it. Because I know it's hard to fathom that, like, people lived before electricity and light bulbs, but for a real long time, people lived without electricity and light bulbs. In fact, for like majority of time, as far as humans go, we haven't had light bulbs and electricity. That's a fairly new phenomenon. Like, there could still be, if you think real hard, in the United States, some old folks at Old Folks Farm that definitely didn't have bulbs when they were growing up. Fuck, there's probably people that don't have light bulbs today, to be honest with you. Probably like Appalachia or some shit, I don't even know. But the light bulbs is you had lamps. You had candles. And like lamps is like not that old either. Like, lamps are pretty new, at least good ones. Like, you want to ever have an interesting time, I don't know how to figure out how to tell you how to do this. Go find a YouTube video about, like, the evolution of the oil lamp. You ever seen an old oil lamp? And you're like, why are they shaped? Why do they have the parts like that? It's all like some clever shit people came up with. It's because when you combust something, it creates smoke and fumes. So, like, all modern, I mean, you can still buy an oil lamp. One dude figured that shit out and everybody stole his idea. And it made like a smokeless flame. That was like revolutionary. Because for most of mankind's history, there was no smokeless flame. You had smoke. Everyone's always dealing with smoke. Smoke, 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 smoke. Everything's coated with smoke. Everyone's smoky. Everything's smoky. Chimneys, drafting, the whole shebang. And of course, candles. The thing about candles and like lamps is they consume and then you have to replace. So like the guy that sells candles, he's like, yep, let's do candles because you're gonna have to buy more candles. On lamp oil, I was like, yep, we're definitely doing some lamp oil here. That'll be great. Gotta buy more of that when it runs out. And then old Tesla comes along and kind of figures out how to like harness the power of alternating current. And it's like, dude, we could probably put wires in everybody's house and give them light bulbs, right? He actually figured out wireless electricity, but they're like, how are we going to charge people? That's a true story. He figured out wireless electricity. You can have wireless lights. And they're like, no, we can't. Like, J.P. Morgan was like, how are we going to set a bill? Like, how do we meter it? He's like, well, you can't. And he's like, well, then we're not doing that. You got to put a meter on that shit so I can bill you. Anyways. So they hear about light bulbs. It's like, that was a big thing. It's like, who could come up with a filament that'll last? They kind of learn, you could have this thing get red hot or orange hot or whatever with the heat from the electricity going across, but the filament would break. I believe it was a huge contest with lots of money on the line, so you could figure it out. I think that the big trick is to figure it out, put it in a vacuum. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. They basically cracked out of the filament and the light bulb. And the guy that like did it was like, "I light bulb lasts basically forever." And they're like, "Whoa, wait, calm down. Forever?" He's like, "Yeah, forever." He's like, "Well, that's not going to work, because if you make a forever light bulb, they're not going to buy a second light bulb. These things have to burn out so we can sell more light bulbs." Shit's wild. And that's literally what they did, to the point where like I'm very, very certain. I think it's in like someplace over in I'm gonna say, we'll say the part of the world where it's like hot and sandy, like the Middle East. One of those countries over there. I think it's like Saudi Arabia, or oh god, don't quote me on this. I can't remember the name of the country. There's a country over in the Middle East, one of the modern ones. Maybe it's like United Arab Emirates. Anyways, they don't play that shit. They're like, we're not playing the fucking burned out light bulb game. Light bulb companies that make light bulbs have to make special light bulbs to send to that country, because they will not allow them to sell shit light bulbs. So when you buy light bulbs, if you can get like light bulbs from that country, they'll last. Like, I think it's the LEDs. It's crazy. And that's today, as I'm speaking, eggs right now. Like, as I'm scrambling these eggs, they're making special light bulbs for that country, because they're like, no, we're not going to buy your shitty light bulbs that don't last. We want good light bulbs. It's like, I learned about that on the internet. Someone was like, yeah, dude, if you buy your light bulbs, try to find the ones that are labeled for this country, and you can buy them on eBay. Like, they'll last forever, because they don't allow it. That's all it took, was like the people in charge, like, we don't allow that here. And the people are like, well, we want to sell our shit there. Okay, well, I guess we'll make special light bulbs for you. It's so wild. Like, the whole thing is so wild. All right, those onions are burning. Onions are done. Let's cook a burrito. Burrito. So yeah, whatever. Light bulbs. Shit's crazy. Trying to think. Man, I just watched a video about blue light. Man, I'm all paranoid now. Like, I've heard about, blue light ain't great. You don't want blue light, whatever, blah, 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 But I watched this video. God, you start looking at what's shooting blue light at me. It's like everything blue light at you. It's like, why is it blue light? Why are we shooting all this blue light? It's like, oh my god. It makes you want to build a cabin in the woods. I swear to Christ, it does. It's like, is the blue light video, is that based on reality, or is that just some tinfoil hat stuff? Then like hats, you think, man, should I have tinfoil on my head? Like, would I be safer with tinfoil? Does the tinfoil on your head keep the thoughts from coming in, or does it keep the thoughts from going out? What does the tinfoil actually do? Does it prevent, or does it preclude? Okay, whatever. Always wondered, like, could you make like a clothing line where you put like woven copper in to make Faraday cages for baseball caps? Keep your thought head. Are they listening to you through your head thoughts? I have no idea. Oh, so next topic, good news. After way too long, and I'm talking like back mid to late September, I ordered a bumper for my side-by-side. A pretty nice bumper. It's a handmade bumper. I'm not going to say it's a custom made, because it isn't made. It's a one-off. Like, the dude makes them one at a time. But it's a pattern. So it's not like a full custom, but it's like a CNC cut out, welded up. Pretty high-end bumper for my Talon. I said, fuck it, ordered it. I couldn't get an exact how many weeks thing. It was like 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 weeks or something. I'm like, oh my god. Well, anyways, we're coming up on 2 months it's been since I ordered this goddamn thing. I got an email yesterday that it's like, yep. I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake. It's like, it may actually show up this year. Like, holy moly. I was stressed. I actually called one time and I was like, dude, like, just checking to see if you had a stroke or something? Like, are you still with us? Because, like, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I'll tell you this. I feel like I told this story. I'll tell the story. The dude had a buddy who bought a Talon, and he wanted a Talon, but he couldn't afford a Talon at the time. So he'd go with his buddy, and he lived out in California. I think they did desert racing or desert dune riding or whatever. And he was like admiring his buddy's Talon. I think there was something his buddy wanted, like a part made, like a shear bolt or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. He's like, yeah, I could make some of those for you. Then he's making these parts for his buddy's Talon. He's like, looking at the bumper. He's like, man, I could probably design you a really cool bumper. And the guy was like, yeah, do it, man. So he did. And then they'd go out riding. And people, oh, dude, where'd you get that bumper? That's the craziest bumper I've ever seen. It's so cool. And his buddy would be like, my friend made it for me. And they're like, can you make me one? He's like, yeah, I can make you one of those. And he'd make one for him. And then they'd go out. He just kept getting people, can you make me a bumper? Can you make me a bumper? And he's like, yeah. And all of a sudden he's, man, this is hard for me to like make these bumpers and still go to my job. Like, what am I going to do? So he's like, screw it. I quit my job. He quit his job and just started making bumpers for Talon time. And since then he's making bumpers for like all the other, but he's like, it's just, dude, I mean, sure, he's got employees. Actually, I actually don't even know that for a fact. It could just be a dude welding bumpers together for all I know, because that's why it takes so long. Like, can you imagine? Going from, man, I wish I could get one of those machines just to make a bumper for somebody. To hand making a product that you could have like a 5-week wait that people will wait for. And I called the number to talk to the dude, and he didn't answer. And then like all of a sudden I got a call back. He's like, you call? And I was like, yeah. I just talked to the guy. I was basically like, dude, your shit's so expensive, I need a discount. I just straight told him that. And then he straight told me, he's like, I'll be honest with you, I don't have to give a discount because I got more of these I can make. Like, there's no reason to discount this shit. And I just kind of explained my story, what I'm doing, who I am, and he took pity on me and gave me 10% off. Basically, I told him I was just going to make a YouTube video for him for free. Like, don't send me a shitter. So we'll see what happens. So anyways, that's nice. When I called to ask what the deal with, are you still making the thing? Basically what he said was, he doesn't do the powder coating. He sends it out. And the company that does the powder coating is like a big time powder coating company, and he's a small fish in that one. And he's like, yeah, when they get to me. So whatever. That's exciting. I'm nervous about taking my machine without a winch, so like, I'm kind of stressing that. I mean, I could probably, you could probably tell myself, hey, you don't get in a position where you need a winch, right? Obviously. But isn't that kind of what he does? I mean, I know sometimes people like make a decision like, I'm gonna go for it. See if I can get stuck or whatever. But yeah, I mean, honestly, today I should be out riding my machine in a town. Today would be the day to do it. It's a beautiful day. I just got to get shit done. I got to get some stuff done around here. I really need to clean my gutters out. The leaves are basically done falling out of the forest. I have a giant goddamn forest behind my house. All the leaves apparently are mechanically driven towards my gutters. Whatever. All right. I feel like we might be coming to a close on this one. I'm not gonna lie. I lost my super. I need new super fans. I had 2 super fans for a while, and I have no super fans. It's kind of making me sad, man. I mean, I know life happens and people get busy, but man, it's not the same without super fans. Anyways, that's gonna be a wrap for this video. Gotta get that fireplace going. I got a winter cap on. It's cold in my house. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Peace. I know I quit a little early, but sometimes I quit early. Whatever. Try not to lose your mind over things that are like coming across the screen, because there's not much you can do about that stuff. Stay safe. Out. Peace.